Hello, guys. Okay, digital distraction. Before mobile devices, we should say BRB, be right back. All the time when we are online, we don't say it anymore. We no longer live. We live here now. Because of our always on ever connected devices, we're struggling to find connection when we're with friends and family, and we're struggling to stay focused at work. Most of us deal with some kind of work life situation where we don't feel comfortable foregoing digital connection for large swaths of time every day. So we stay on the grid out of the fear that if we were unreachable, we would lose out. The trouble is we're wired to enjoy it. Each successive hit of dopamine we get from the likes we receive on social media or from the texts we get from loved ones or friends only reinforces our behavior, but those rewards are changing our brains. Instead of relaxing into the downtime that we might experience when waiting in line, waiting for a bus or an appointment, etc., we pull out our phones and train our distraction muscles. What happens when this is our constant way of being, when where every loose moment is filled with signing stimulus? Staying connected may make us feel more secure, but it doesn't make us happier. Ryan Bloor, MA of the University of British Columbia, led a study that showed how our digital habits are affecting our relationships. In one experiment, more than 300 adults and university students were asked to keep their phones on the table, easily accessible, while others were asked to put them on silent and keep them in a container on the table during a meal. Afterwards, participants were asked to respond to a questionnaire that asked them about their feelings of connectedness, enjoyment, distraction, and boredom. The surveyor also asked them to detail the amount of time they spent on their phone during the meal. Those whose phones were accessible used them more often, and they described themselves as feeling more distracted. They also enjoyed the dinner less than the dinners who didn't have access to their phones. Modern technology may be powerful, but it can easily sidetrack us and take away from the special moments we have with friends and family in person. Doyer says of the study, just as few of us have learned how to learn, not many know how to process and filter the massive amount of information we are constantly seeing. We just multitask to get all of it in, and this doesn't serve us well. Asking the brain to shift attention from our one activity to another causes the prefrontal cortex and striatum to burn off oxygenated glucose, the same fuel they need to stay on task. Notes neuroscientist Daniel J. Levitin in his book, the Organized Mind, Thinking Straight in the Age of Information Overload, and the kind of rapid continuous shifting we do with multitasking causes the brain to burn through fuel so quickly that we feel exhausted and disorientated after even a short time. We're literally depleted the nutrients in our brain. This leads to compromises in both cognitive and physical performance. From app notification to massage alerts, it's not just adults who deal with this. With the availability of technology and social pressure to be online and active on social media, children and teenagers experience the constant distraction too. In Chapter 11, Focus, you will discover the keys to sustain concentration and focus development to learn and get things done. Quick start. Go to the notification setting of your phone and turn off all unnecessary and distracting pings and dings. Do this now. Digital dementia. When is the last time you had to remember someone's phone number? I'm dating myself here, but I'm a part of a generation that when you wanted to call your friend down the block, you needed to know their number. Can you still remember some of your best friend's number from childhood? What about the number of the person you talk or text with every day? You no longer have to because your mobile remembers it for you. This is not to say anyone wants to or should remember as 200 phone numbers, but we've all lost the ability to remember a new one or a conversation we just had, the name of a new potential client, or something important we need to do. Neuroscientist Manfred Spitzer uses the term digital dementia to describe how overuse of digital technology results in the breakdown of cognitive abilities. He argues that short-term memory pathways will start to deteriorate from underuse if you overuse technology. It's the same with GPS. Move to a new city and see how quickly you become reliant on GPS to tell you how to get around. Then notice how long it takes you to map new roads in your mind, probably much longer than when you were younger, but not because you've been isn't working as well. With tools like GPS, we don't give our minds the chance to work. We rely on technology to do the memorization for us. This reliance may be hurting our long-term memory. Maria Wimber of the University of Birmingham told the BBC that the trend of looking up information prevents the build-up of long-term memories. In a study that examined the memory habits of 6,000 adults in the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg, Wimber and her team found that more than a third of respondents turned to their computer first to retrieve information. The UK came in the highest. More than half of the participants searched online first without trying to come up with the answer themselves. Why is this a big deal? Because such instant information can be easily and immediately forgotten. Our brain appears to strengthen our memory each time we recall it, and at the time we forget forget irrelevant memories that are distracting us, said Dr. Wimber. Forcing yourself to recall information instead of relying on an outside source to supply it for you is a way of creating or strengthening a permanent memory. When you contrast that with the reality that most of us have a habit of constantly looking up information, maybe even the same information, without bothering to try to remember it, it seems we're doing ourselves harm. Is relying on technology always bad? Many researchers disagree. The argument goes that by outsourcing some menial tasks like memorizing phone numbers or doing basic math or getting directions to a restaurant we'll visit before, we're saving brain space for something that matters more to us. There's research that says our brain are more like a muscle rather than a hard drive that fills up. That the more you use it, the stronger it gets, and the more it can store. The question is, are we making those choices consciously, or are we acting out of unconscious habit? Too often we outsource our brain to our smart devices, and our smart devices are making us, well, a little bit stupid. Our brains are the ultimate adaptation machines, capable of seemingly endless levels of evolution, and yet we often forget to give it the exercise it needs. Just as there is a physical price to always rely on the technology of the elevator instead of taking the stairs, so is there a price for lazy mental muscles. Use it or lose it. In chapter 13, memory, I will show you simple tools and techniques to remember anything from names and speeches to languages faster and easier. Take a minute to exercise your memory. Memorize the phone number of someone you communicated with regularly. Alright, tomorrow digital deduction. So that's it, guys. Bye.